Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Grainville, the National Cricket Centre of Jersey Cricket. And glad to say that after a pretty miserable evening last night and not much better this morning, but the ground staff have done a magnificent job and we are just about underway. The umpires are approaching the middle now, and my understanding is that with a reduced amount of time available for this game, because the intention is to get a full T20 in starting at 5 o'clock this evening, that this game is in fact going to be played over 17 overs, but we'll confirm that in due course. I'm fairly certain that is the case. So looking at likely to be 17 overs per side this particular game. And the news from the middle is that Chuggy Pershard for once actually won a toss and has inserted the Guernsey batsman. So strolling out to the middle now are Ben Fitchett and Josh Butler, who got Guernsey off to a good start in the game last night. So they'll be opening the batting for Guernsey. And the Jersey team is pretty much the same as the team that played last night, with Theo Pullman operating as 12th man, and the unfortunate Dan Birrell missing out. Feel a bit sorry for Dan because he was keen as mustard to play, I believe, and he's picked up a bit of a knee injury, which is a slight concern for him, obviously for this weekend, but also for later in the year when the Jersey team will be meeting Guernsey again in the Netherlands. Anyway, Dan's unfortunately out, and of course he's also had his work cut out in his role as the chief groundsman here, ably assisted by Peter Goff amongst others. In fact, really give them a proper shout out, because last night with the incessant rain they were camped under the covers with a succession of hair dryers, blow heaters, you name it, trying to keep as much damp from the wicket as possible. And of course, because we continued on in pretty heavy rain yesterday evening for a while, that did a couple of things. I mean, the surface itself got pretty wet, which meant that when the covers came on, there was no opportunity for them to really properly dry off. So there was a lot of sweating going on. That's part of the reason why they had to get the blow heaters and everything else out. And the other thing which Lee Malloy and I commented on yesterday during the game was that that bit of moisture on the wicket possibly played into Guernsey's hands with the bat, because a sticky wicket was suddenly a little bit slicker with a bit of moisture on it. The ball came onto the bat better, and that enabled Guernsey to record in the end a fairly comfortable win on the Duckworth-Lewis-Stern method. Anyway, that was yesterday. Here we are, 17 overs aside, I believe, with Harrison Carlyon looking to take the first over. And he'll be bowling at Josh Butler. I'll give you some Guernsey team news in just a moment. There's been a couple of changes there. And here comes Harrison Carlyon to bowl the first ball of the second T20, which may not be T20. Good delivery, pushed to mid-off by Josh Butler. The more eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed that perhaps the ground staff or the powers that be were listening to the commentary team yesterday and have indeed pulled the boundary rope in by 5 or 10 yards, which I think probably will make for a better spectacle. It'll be interesting to see how the wicket plays with that bit of rain that fell last night. It'll be interesting to see as Jimmy Pershard obscures our view, anything to get on screen. And Butler gets underneath that one and pulls it round to backward square leg, and that's the first boundary of the Guernsey innings. Yeah, so boundaries are in a little bit. Yesterday there were pretty few boundaries hit, particularly by the Jersey team. 1-6 in the whole match yesterday, and I predict there might be a bit more of a flurry of boundaries today. And as I say that, Butler tries to go over extra cover, a little bit inside to out there, and threatened to be a half chance going out towards Nick Greenwood, but there was no actual opportunity for Greenwood. So single to Butler, and it's Ben Fitchett on strike. The last ball of Harrison Carlyon's first over. Fairly steady start, honours even, I'd say. Guernsey reached 5 for no wicket at the end of the first over. I promised you some Guernsey team news. So the one change is the change in wicket-keeper, actually. Zach Damrell has joined the party overnight. So he takes the gloves today in place of the impressive Charlie Simmons, who I didn't get much of a chance to talk about yesterday because I didn't know a lot about him. But my spies in Guernsey, thank you very much, David Pising and others, advised me that he's, funnily enough, played very high quality rugby with the man that's taking the ball now, Scott Van Breda. So the two of them played in that joint Channel Islands rugby team that did so well a couple of weeks ago, soundly beating Sweden. So yeah, good game for Charlie Simmons with the gloves yesterday, but he's replaced by Zach Damrell as Van Breda comes into bowl. Tiny bit of width which Butler can't quite take full advantage of. No run. As the rain begins to fall. Not what we wanted to hear. Bit of a swipe from Butler. Just misses the inside edge. Could have dragged that one on easily, but goes through to keeper Paddy Googe. Paddy Googe also did a very good job yesterday with the gloves, and came in and struck the ball well right from ball one, which was something that many other Jersey batsmen failed to do. Van Breda straightens up a little bit there, and just pushed into mid-wicket by Butler, but good start. Ground staff are beginning to muster towards the covers, which is a little bit concerning. And I'm just having a look at the rain radar, and it really doesn't look very good for the next half an hour or so, which is very frustrating. Fitchett gets a bit of bottom hand into that. Oh my goodness, everyone's slipping over. Well, that's the conditions for you. Fitchett slipped as he turned to take the second run, and the unfortunate fielder slipped, and the ball went through his legs for 4 runs. So bit of a bonus runs for Guernsey. It's Stan Norman out there with an unfortunate slippage. Oh, Stan, can he make amends? He does fine that time. Not far off a catch, but the ball falls safely short, and it's just a single out to deep square leg. So some symmetry with the first over, 1 boundary hit in each over. What can Van Breda do off the last ball? It's a great shot, straight down the ground, straight into the commentary box, where I shall feel the ball. Great bit of fielding by your commentator there. So that's a super shot, by Butler. He's absolutely creamed that straight down the ground. Great cricket shot, and 4 runs. So honours to Guernsey that over. Takes the score to 15 for no wicket from the second over, as the sky looks ominously dark, but the rain just for the moment is holding off. Pitch just looks to have a little bit more pace in it today, which again may well be explained by the bit of moisture on the wicket. I mean, it has been wet out there, so the fielders are going to struggle a little bit. A little I think Carline's going to get away with that one. Might have been a wide, but it hits the pad, so Richard Veyard doesn't have an excuse to spread his wings. Chipped into the gap at mid-wicket. Just threatened to be half a chance towards Zach Tribe for a second there, but just a single taken. That's a great shot, another super shot. And that's a six. So that's the second one of the tournament and first today, and that's a super strike once again. Butler looking ominous here. Carline drags it down short, prevents another big hit over the top, but can't stop the single. So definitely signs that there's a little bit more pace in this wicket today, which I think will be good for both sides, batting wise certainly, and also for the crowd. A few more boundaries likely, I believe, and obviously the boundaries have been brought in as well. Short again, and that's hit extremely powerfully out over the deep square leg boundary. Six more to Butler. We really want the rain to hold off here, because this could be a good contest today. I've got a lot more faith in this wicket from what I've seen thus far. So 3 overs gone, and Guernsey up to 10 and over there, 30 without loss. Josh Butler 17 off just 12 balls, but Furbrush going along even better, arguably 13 off 6. So when things get a bit tricky, Chuggy normally does this. He takes the responsibility, and Pershard's bringing himself on from the pavilion end. Big swing from Fitchett, goes across the line, but the ball's comfortably outside off stump. But signs of real aggression here from Guernsey. They probably realise that on this wicket they're going to need to post a more challenging total than Jersey managed in yesterday's first innings. Pershard starts predictably well. Slight change in the field for Jersey. We're still in the power play here. I'm not entirely sure how many overs of power play with this reduction to 17 overs, I think. Pershard in, and that's a good hit. Another super shot. Great shot from Fitchett. He's hit that straight down the ground, and nothing that Long On can do, and that's another 4 runs, and a pretty dominating start here by both the Guernsey batsmen getting into the swing of things and hitting the ball extremely cleanly. A 17 each to the batsman. Ooh, Pershard just brings that length back a touch and a little bit of away movement. Good work by Googe, taking the gloves. And a dot ball. Fitchett loses his shape slightly there as he tries to put a bit of extra power into that, and Biss hits it to mid-wicket. No run. So just one good strike off this over. What's the last ball going to do? He's found that big gap at mid-wicket with only 2 fielders out. Doesn't reach the boundary, and that's 2 runs. So 6 runs off that over. Honours even, I would suggest, but Guernsey definitely on top overall with the score on 36 off 4 overs. May well be the end of the power play. I'm just watching the umpires, looking for Mr. Veyard to do his secret signal. He's not showing much interest at the moment. Maybe there's another over of power play. Rain just making a slight noise on the top of my tent. And it's a change of bowling, and it's Julius Summerer from the bowling club end. Now it'll be interesting to see what sort of pace he manages to generate today on this slightly quicker wicket. And sure enough, he's bowled a shorter ball, which Butler manages to confidently get out the way of, but no, nothing added to the total. Sumra pulls another short one down. Oh, a little bit of argy-bargy in the middle. That's not the first time I've seen Sumra get involved with that sort of stuff. I think it was totally legitimate. But as he went for the ball, there was a little coming together, but all friends. Interesting that tactic though of banging it down really quite short there, which Fitchett had to make an adjustment. It's a big swing, and it's another very, very clean hit, and it has reached that slightly reduced boundary, so that's another 6 over long on. And Fitchett really get hold of that one as the rain starts to look even more threatening. This is a concern, I'm afraid, having seen that weather radar. It doesn't look good for the next 20 minutes or so. Shame for Guernsey, who've got off to a pretty good start here. Oh, and Sumra gets unlucky this time. Another big swing from Fitchett, lost his shape a bit, inside edge, and there's never anyone down at fine leg under these circumstances, so a little bit harsh on Sumra. That's but another 4 runs. That's 10 runs off the last 2 balls. What's Sumra going to respond? He's bowled a fuller length. Oh, he's bowled a fuller length, and it's gone straight through to the keeper, who's slipped. I thought the ball was going to hit the helmet. I was getting quite excited for 5 penalty runs. Didn't happen. In fact, nothing happened. Deep square leg comes in, and long on goes out. As Sumra is in, and sure enough, that ball does go to that long on fielder, where Chuggy Pershard scurries around and keeps it to just the 1. But another good over for Guernsey. Super shot for 6 from Fitchett, followed by a little bit of good fortune. So that takes Guernsey up to 48 from 5 overs. So pretty much 10 and over, which is a good start. And there is the signal that is the end of the power play. So power play is reduced to 5 overs in this instance. And it'll be a bit of a relief to Jersey now that faced with this bit of an onslaught, they've managed to get through that power play, and now they can set a more defensive field. And sure enough, as you would have expected, all 5 fielders are back on the rope. I reckon the rope must be in probably 7-8 yards from where it was yesterday, which overall is going to make quite a substantial difference, I think, to scoring. It's Greenwood on to bowl from the pavilion end. A lot of raindrops on our camera from one end of the ground, but we're okay here. That's gone right out to deep square leg, and it clears the rope for the 3rd 6 of the innings. 2 things there. I know I've mentioned this a couple of times, but the reduced boundary sizes. but also maybe just a little bit more zip off the wicket means the batsmen can go through with their shots with a bit more confidence than they did on the early part of yesterday's innings, when things fell slightly into Guernsey's hand. But they batted and fielded, I thought, yesterday magnificently well. Now that's gone deep square leg under it, and he's right on the rope, but has confidently taken a catch. I think our cameraman down there might have a very good view of Zach Tribe, and everyone seems to be fairly comfortable that that was taken within the rope. But Zach Tribe, super pair of hands, and if you don't quite time it and you don't reach that boundary, he's going to gobble you up, and he has. He did a little look at his back leg as he took that catch, and there was a little moment of concern that he was probably near the rope, but everybody seems to be quite satisfied. And Butler walks off after a convincing, solid 24 off just 16 balls, and there you see the replay as Zach Tribe takes that catch fairly comfortably inside the rope. So good bowling change from Chuggy Pershard, bringing Greenwood on. He's gone for the obligatory boundary off this over, but we have Guernsey have taken a wicket. Which brings the hard-hitting Tom Nightingale to the crease. How's he going to start? Defensive prod. Slips the ball down towards short third man, and he takes a single. Rain's just eased off the moment, fingers crossed. As Greenwood comes in to bowl to Fitchett. Good bowling from Greenwood here. I definitely think this boundary size makes for a better game of cricket. There's a bit more risk and reward today. Yesterday it just wasn't even worth trying to hit their boundaries. Whereas today you know that a good strike is going to clear it. End of a good over from Greenwood. He just concedes 6 runs from that over. Ben Furbush moves on to... Ben Furbush? That's not Ben Furbush. Ben Fitchett, thank you. Moves on to 32 off just 19 balls. So this has been a good innings. And this is a crucial stage of the match now. How's Tom Nightingale going to get on? 25 minutes of Tom Nightingale at his best could set a really challenging total here for Guernsey. Just hope this rain stays off, because yesterday's game, whilst Guernsey were thoroughly dominant and deserved their win, but it was still shaping up to be quite interesting, and a couple of wickets could have been a bit of a nervy run chase for Guernsey had the rain not come when it did. And what we want to see is as full a game as possible. I mean, really fingers crossed for the last game at 5 o'clock tonight, because I think the forecast is much better for later this evening. So that's the game that we really are confident is going to be fulfilled. At the moment we're okay, we're dry. As change of bowling, and it's another Pershard, but it's not Charles, it is Will of that nomenclature. Here comes Will Perchard. Fitchett in form. Fairly traditional defensive field placing with 3 men out on the leg side, deep long off, and a deep extra cover. How's Nightingale going to go here? He's pushed that one back defensively. Nightingale throws his hands at that. It really was a kitchen sink, but actually went down a plug hole. Just pushed back in the end to Pershard, who paced off slightly, might perform well on this surface. So far he's causing a few problems as the rain starts to fall again. Nightingale's gone straight, and he has got hold of that, and sure enough, his first boundary scoring shot is a straight 6, and that was a nice shape he held there. Dangerous moments for Guersey here. If he gives a chance, it needs to be taken. And that's a very strong strike, straight at the fielder this time, and just one run, but Nightingale getting into his stride. Bit agricultural this time, but extremely effective as the ball beats mid-wicket and runs through for another boundary 4. So 12 runs from Will Pershard's first over, and maybe that extra bit of pace in the wicket generated by last night's rain, and there's a little bit more rain falling on the surface now, just juicing things up a little bit in favour of the batsman, I'm going to say. And looks like captain's bringing himself back onto bowl here. Fitchett 37 not out from 21 deliveries, so he's going really well. A good innings by Josh Butler, and Nightingale's looking dangerous already, so things looking good from a Guernsey perspective at the moment. Same field as Pershard is in, and Nightingale just pushes that into the covers. Ooh, and that's gone high. It's towards Sumra, who takes a comfortable catch at long on, and Charles Pershard strikes again. And that's the end of Ben Fitchett, but a good knock from him. 37 off 22 balls. That's a good start for Guernsey. Unfortunately, that rain is joining Fitchett as he comes off the pitch, and I've got a feeling the umpires are having a close look at this. It does feel a bit heavier now. Here's the catch from Sumra. Always under control there. He looked very comfortable under that. Rain very heavy now. Umpires deciding to stay out. Groundsmen are sitting on the tractor by the covers though. 70 for 2. Still going on at 7 and over Guernsey. At 10 and over I should say. This is that sort of weather that if they'd been off, they wouldn't go on when it's like this. But having started, carrying on in the rain. Not ideal cricket conditions, I'm afraid, today, after the driest spring in Guernsey since records began, and the third sunniest, apparently. You might not believe it right now. Pershard, good response, and that's been a good over so far from Pershard. It's only gone for 3 runs and taken that key wicket of Fitchett. Guernsey still in a very strong position here. Deep mid wicket comes in. Matt Stokes is a new man, sorry, I should have mentioned that. He's off the mark with a couple of runs. As it gets ominously dark. 73 for 2 from 8 overs, so Chuggy Purcell just pegged things back ever so slightly, that over. I can't help feeling we're going to be off in a moment though. Change of ends for Nick Greenwood, who comes in from the bowling club end. Well, that's a good shot from Matthew Stokes. Great shot there, really waited on that, timed it to perfection and punishes it backward of square on the offside for 4 runs. As the outfield sort of slickens up on the onslaught of some pretty heavy rain now. I'm quite surprised it's still out there, to be honest. Stokes gets a bit of fortune this time. It's a bit of a thick outside edge. Ball flies down to 3rd, and Harrison Carline tidies up but 2 more runs. Umpires looking at each other. And I think Dan Birrell, the groundsman, will want to get his covers on, otherwise he knows he's going to have to get his hairdryer out again. Stokes slashes that one out to deep point again. Doesn't reach the boundary this time. Fielded with a strong arm from Stan Norman. Actually beats the keeper, but some tidying up. Good backing up from the Jersey fielders. It really isn't very pleasant at all, I'm afraid. And that's gone. That's a good hit straight down the ground again. Absolutely perfect strike. 6 runs. Tom Nightingale into his stride now. Up to 16 off 8. It's like a monsoon out there. Nightingale goes big again out to deep square leg, where Jonty Jenner takes an excellent catch in really tough conditions. He picked that up low as the ball was hit firmly into deep mid wicket. I think the umpires are going to come off now with Nightingale. I can hear the tractor starting up to roll the covers on. It really is absolutely lashing down. There's the signal. Nightingale not happy, he's thrown his gloves. It's absolutely monsoon here as the teams go out to rescue the covers. So we're going to give it a break, I'm afraid. We're going to be out of action for a short while. Welcome back to a slightly less wet Grainville. Great effort from the groundsman, and actually probably should say the Jersey fielders as well, who, when it was absolutely torrential out there, rushed on with covers and old tyres and all the various paraphernalia required to do their best to keep conditions as good as they can be. Anyway, the news from the middle is that this game has now become 13 overs a side, with Guernsey currently 86 for 3 from 8.5 overs. So there's literally going to be 4 overs and 1 more ball bowled in this Guernsey innings. And then we are reliably informed that the weather is now clear and we're not going to get any more rain. It's not particularly pleasant at the moment, but it's not going to rain apparently. So that'll mean that Jersey will be set a total to chase, which will be adjusted with Duckworth Lewis for those that don't fully understand, and it is a little bit complicated, but basically obviously Guernsey will have started this particular match under the impression that they were going to be facing 17 overs, but they're not actually going to get 17 overs, so therefore you can expect that whatever total Guernsey get, it'll be upwardly adjusted and Jersey will have a steeper target to reach. There'll still be a power play, and the number of overs in the Jersey power play will, for 13 overs, be the first 4 overs. So Guernsey had 5 overs of power play out of what was initially going to be 17, but will now be 13. And Jersey consequently will have 4 overs in their power play. Anyway, we'll worry about that when the time comes, and there will be a revised total set on the Duckworth Lewis Stern method. So for the moment, just to refresh your memories, if you're returning to the live viewing, Tom Nightingale, after a promising start, was out to the last ball before that violent rainstorm. Good catch by John T. Jenner out at deep mid-wicket off the bowling of Nick Greenwood. So Nightingale departed for 16 off 9 as the heavens opened, and we all left the field of play. So 8.5 overs in, Guernsey 86 for 3. And the new batsman joining on the departure of Tom Nightingale is Zach Damrell, who will be the Guernsey wicketkeeper, a left-handed batsman from a fine cricketing pedigree. His dad Ian was a compatriot of mine and a super cricketer, very knowledgeable about the game. And Zach himself is a very free-hitting left-hander once he gets going. Anyway, he's only got 4 overs or so to make an impression here. Guernsey resuming with Greenwood to finish off the 9th over. This is the last ball of the 9th over. Greenwood comes in. Damrell squeezes that out to deep mid-wicket. Quick bit of fielding keeps it to just the single. So Damrell keep the strike. At the end of 9 overs, Guernsey 87 for 3. A reminder, there are 4 overs left of this innings now. And it's going to be Julius Sumara to take over the attack from the pavilion end. Be interesting to see whether he persists with this short bowling method that he used early on. I feel a bit sorry for the Jersey fielders who manfully went out and put all the covers on and got absolutely drenched. So they're pretty soaked at the moment. I've just heard a rumour there might be some more rain on the radar as well, so I don't want to depress you or me, but not so promising. Here comes Sumra. very full delivery. I think he was a little bit concerned about his footing there. He looked a bit gingerly the way he approached his bowling stride. But Damrell flicks it to mid-off for just a single. I've got a little Zach Damrell story to tell you in a moment. He's come to the rescue of one of the Jersey players, which is very decent of him overnight, but we'll save that for a moment. Chuggy Pershard marshalling his fielders here. Massive gap on the leg side. Sure enough, that gets pushed into, but Sumra in his follow through goes and collects, and there's only a single there. To Matt Stokes, the classy right-hander. Yeah, so Zach Damrell turned up at Jersey Airport this morning and apparently got to the luggage carousel and saw this one lonely cricket bag going round in circles as Sumra is in, bowls. Slight misfield by Captain Chuggy Pershard at backward point, but saves a single. Anyway, so Zach had been listening to this commentary yesterday, and he knew that one of the Jersey players hadn't received his bag on the EasyJet flight, and guessed, as a result of listening to this commentary, that the bag probably belonged to one of the Jersey players. Sumra is in. Short ball, pulled round to backward square, fumble at backward square, enables Damrell to take the second run. Not easy conditions out in the deep, to be fair, for the fielder. That's Stan Norman just straggling a little bit with his footing. Anyway, so Zach phoned up Jonty Jenner and said, I think it must be your bag going around in the carousel. He said, do you want me to pick it up for you? So Jonty picked him up. He brought him back to the Guernsey hotel, and Jonty got his kit. So everybody happy, and a nice bit of friendly relations between these two great rival teams. Good shorter ball there from Sumra, sort of cramped Damrell up a little bit. He just managed to bunt it for a single. Some signs that conditions are not quite as straightforward as they might have been before that rain break. We haven't had that flurry of boundaries that we were seeing. Oh, and what a cracking delivery that is by Sumra. That's pitched middle and off, it's held its line, perhaps moved away a touch and beaten the outside edge. It's a lovely delivery. So honours to Julius, that over just goes for 2, 3, 4, 5 runs. 5 runs off the over, and Guernsey are 92 for 3 with just 3 overs remaining of this truncated T20 game. Greenwood continues from the St Saviour's Bowling Club end, and that's a big swing and a miss from Damrell. He looks at his studs as if he might have slipped a little bit, but either way he missed it, and he's out bowled. I mean, fair play to Damrell. With just 4 overs to go and wickets in hand, you're going to try and play as many attacking shots as you can, but he failed to connect, and Greenwood did the necessary, and the bails are removed. So Damrell departs the scene. I think that's 5 runs to Damrell, and the incoming batsman is yesterday's bowling hero, Martindale Bradley. Remember, that's the Christian name that's hyphenated, Martindale. Bowled beautifully yesterday, 4 for 17 I think it was, off the top of my head. Anyway, it was 4 wickets, and I think if there had been a man of the match award yesterday, I'm not sure whether there was or not in the end, but if there was, it would definitely have been him. Now, for some reason, the umpire has decided to wander off. I think it must be a new bail required. I can't really believe that at Greenwood's pace he's managed to break a bail, but I presume that must be exactly what's happened, because otherwise why would we be taking out new bails? Anyway, the umpire's returning to the scene of action. Bradley's taken his guard. Greenwood's taken his third wicket with the first ball of that over. So he's got the impressive figures of 3 for 23. As he comes into bowl to Bradley's first ball. And Bradley's gone straight down the track, and a fine stop by Greenwood. For a moment there, it was a bit of a crowd catch, that one. I thought it might have been a very smart caught and bowl, but he obviously hit it into the ground. Couldn't quite tell from here because it's obscured by the batsman's body. Dances down the wicket, fails to prevent a single there. A little bit of a coming together from Greenwood and the non-striker. Which is still Matt Stokes. Probably not ideal circumstances for Stokes. He's more of a classy, longer form player of the game, you might say, but he is extreme class, as that shot demonstrates. Beautifully played out over extra cover where there's always a gap. Just fails to reach the boundary with a smart sliding stop. Out there, I think that's Stan Norman again. Good bit of fielding. Restricts Stokes to just 2. This time Stokes pushes it out to deep mid-wicket as the rain starts to fall again. Dan Birrell, the slightly miserable looking groundsman, he's had a tough couple of days. He's never really miserable. He's the loveliest bloke you could ever meet, but he has had a tough couple of days with his hairdryer under the wickets at 6 o'clock in the morning. Greenwood in, Bradley swings, he's going to deep square leg, and they're just going to take the single. So no boundaries since we recommenced this innings, the last 4 overs, and now we're down to just 2 more overs to go. Guernsey have moved on to 97 for 4. The groundsman's tractor fires up again, never a good sign. Has someone looked on the rain radar? Anyway, it's actually quite a bit brighter than it was before. Looks a bit more promising from my position, hopefully. It's going to be Sumra bowling, which will obviously be his last over, because this is over number 12 of 13 from the pavilion end. Bowling to the substantial frame of Martindale Bradley. Yorker pushed out to deep extra cover. Good shot, good strike actually, but just 1 run. It goes straight out to deep extra, where Greenwood fields the ball comfortably. What are Guernsey going to be targeting off this last 2 overs? They're probably going to want to get to 115. That's gone back out to Greenwood again, but it's only going to be a single. Matt Stokes 14 off 11 as Sumra is in. Ooh, and that is a snorter, and he's definitely bothered Bradley, who's taken last minute evasive action, and that's obscured the ball from wicket-keeper Paddy Googe, and he's mishandled it, so Guernsey squeezed through for just one bye. But so far since the resumption, I think Jersey have bowled slightly better lines. Maybe the pitch is just misbehaving a fraction, and Guernsey haven't really got hold of any yet. Bit of a hack out to deep extra cover. Now, unfortunately, in this wet conditions, it looks like Bradley, in trying to turn and looking for that second run, trying to turn quickly, he's slipped. There was a half a chance of a run out at one stage, but he just looks in a bit of discomfort, grimacing ever so slightly. But he's back on strike now. He might not be turning so quickly for the next one. And this time he gets hold of that, but again it's gone straight to deep square leg, and it's only one run. So singles off every ball of this over, well, including the bye. 2, 3, 4, 5 from the over so far. It's got a lot brighter, but there is rain in the air. I haven't got access to my rain radar at the moment, but I have heard rumours there might be some more rain around. Anyway, end of the 12th. Inside edge. That's good bowling from Sumra. He's only gone for 5 off that over. 4 he's conceded in the one bye, so just 5 off that over. And Guernsey have only moved on to 102 for 4 with just 1 over remaining of this innings now. The rain radar suggests that maybe that's it. Maybe we've just missed the worst of the rain. So and it certainly looks a lot brighter. The clouds look a bit higher, and I've now got a bit of a good feeling that we're going to actually get a result in this game. It's going to be very interesting actually, because Guernsey got off to a really very good start. Since the rain break, a mixture of the conditions, maybe some slightly better Jersey bowling, and some new batsmen having to come in and start their innings, has slowed things down quite markedly. And Guernsey, with 1 over to go now, are going to be lucky to get 115, I would say. That's what they'll be targeting. As Chuggy Pershard, the captain, comes in, and the ball's hit out to, nearly misfielded, and they do manage to get 2 this time, out to wider deep mid-off. So 5 balls remaining. Guernsey targeting, I'm going to say 115, and they lose another wicket as Bradley tries to make room and get a bit inventive and get that ball down to the vacant fine leg area, but he misses the ball. Pershard, almost as if he knew exactly what was going to happen, he's bowled a full leg stump Yorker. Obviously he's not as quick as Nick Greenwood, because the bail hasn't broken this time, and Bradley departs, replaying the shot that he might have played. So the Guernsey innings has sort of come to a little bit of a hiatus really here since that rain break. And I think Jersey will be quite happy with the way things have worked out. Four balls remaining. Pershard to the new batsman, Adam Martell, who again trying to do something with the last few deliveries, has spooned one very gently in the air to wicketkeeper Paddy Googe, who takes an extremely straightforward catch. So another wicket falls. Just trying to work out whether these wickets are going to have any significance on the Duckworth-Lewis-Stern target that Jersey are going to get set. I mean, I suppose it must have some bearing really, because in the unlikely event that Jersey were to bowl Guernsey out, that would be all of their resources used. Having said that, obviously Guernsey didn't know at the start of this game how many overs they were going to be facing with that rain interruption, so I'm certain whatever happens there's going to be a upward revision in whatever score Guernsey get. But from that 87 runs or whatever it was when we had the break. I think Guernsey would have been hoping to get a little bit advanced from where we are at the moment. So it'll be very interesting to see what the target set is. Now, once upon a time, I actually could work it out with a pencil and paper and a calculator. But in this day and age, that's not possible because there's been minor adjustments made to the old Duckworth-Lewis systems, and you need a computer-driven algorithm or whatever the word is. Anyway, that's pushed out to deep mid-wicket. They're going for the second run, and they've made it. It's good running from Guernsey, because that was out to Jonty Jenner, arguably the quickest of the Jersey fielders, but even he couldn't prevent a briskly scurried couple of runs. So a bit like yesterday's game, boundaries are at a premium again now, and running twos seems to be the key. But to be fair, Chuggy's trying to get out of the way and actually getting in everyone's way there. Umpire having a few words. I think it was all totally innocent. I think he tried to get out of one person's way, but inadvertently got in someone else's way at the same time. Anyway, it's only one run off that ball. So we've had 2 wickets, two twos, and a single. It's the last ball of the Guernsey innings. A few minor changes to the field. 107 for 6. Pershard is in. It's been hit a long way out to deep mid-wicket, where Jonty Jenner makes some really good ground, and actually in the end catches that quite comfortably. So that's another wicket. I don't think the wicket's going to have a massive effect on the Duckworth-Lewis challenge that's going to be set, but Jersey will certainly be very happy with that last 4 overs since the rain break, only having conceded 20 odd runs, and a wicket off that last ball means that Chuggy's figures end up being 4 for 15. He's done it again, that man. What a remarkable cricketer Chuggy Pershard is. He makes the absolute most of every bit of ability he's got, and the number of times he's turned up with similar figures to that in really important games of cricket. Fair play to him. Anyway, Guernsey batsmen depart the scene. Stokes was out off that last ball. Another good catch in the deep by Jonty Jenner. Off the bowling of Chuggy Pershard, 4 for 15. Excellent performance. The Jersey batsmen run off to get ready for the second innings. And the Guernsey total, and don't read too much into this, was a 107 for 7 off 13. Jersey will have 13 overs, and we'll come back to you with the actual target that's going to be set. It'll be adjusted. Zach Damrell's going to have a little chat with the umpires about something. Doesn't look to be all that happy. A few questions being asked of Richard Vayard. It all looks quite friendly, but he's not happy about something. I'm going to find out what he's going on about. Okay. Well, welcome back to Grainville. A couple of bits of news for you. First of all, the remarkable news that the sun has made an appearance. So that makes everyone a little bit happier. And I don't want to jinx it, but the cloud base looks a lot higher. It looks a lot brighter. And we're hopeful that the rest of the afternoon is going to be rain-free. And the news that you'll all be desperate to hear is that the Guernsey innings, which ended on, what did I say? I'll get the details up in a second. But anyway, it's been slightly upwardly adjusted, as I had predicted, to the extent that the Guernsey required total to win the game from 13 overs is 113, or is it 114? I'm not quite sure. It's one of those numbers anyway. 113 is on the board. I don't know if that's the target or if that's what is deemed to be the Guernsey score. I suspect that's the target. Guernsey, I think, chasing 113 from 13 overs, and there's going to be 4 overs of the power play. Anyway, we'll get the we'll look to get the Guernsey scorecard up again in a second. But in the meantime, I can tell you that there we go. So there's the Guernsey scorecard. Yeah, 108, 107 for 7 was their actual total. Been slightly upgraded to 113. Anyway, it's Adam Martell opening the bowling to Harrison Carlyon, who's hit first ball of the innings to deep mid-off, who's taken an excellent catch above his head, and Harrison departs for a golden duck. So that's not the start that Guernsey would have wanted. He showed a bit of aggression there, but he didn't. It was either one thing nor the other, and he's been well taken. A good catch at mid off. And Harrison has to trudge off, unfortunately, after a golden duck. So. Not the start that he wanted, or Guernsey wanted, but he's well snapped up there. Yeah, it looked like it was Luke Bichard who took the catch, I think, and it was a good catch. He moved well, and he had to leap high above himself to take a good catch. So. Guernsey none for 1, and new batsman is Zach Tribe coming in at number 3. Martell into Tribe. He's done almost exactly the same thing, but this time he manages to clear despairing Luke Bichard, and the ball disappears over the boundary to where my daughter and granddaughter granddaughters are out there fielding the ball. So that's 4 runs to Zach Tribe. Guernsey off the mark. It's going to be an interesting run chase, this, I think. Not quite sure what happened to the wicket after that rain delay, because prior to that the ball seemed to be coming onto the bat a lot quicker and batting looked relatively straightforward. But then after the rain delay things were different. Now I don't know whether that was because the Guernsey bowling was better, or Guernsey had lost a few wickets and maybe the incoming batsman just struggled a little bit, but we'll know within a few overs of this innings how much the pitch has changed. And that one came onto the bat quite nicely. It was wide outside the off stump, and Tribes reached and played a good shot off the back foot through extra cover for another boundary 4. So in the first over, Guernsey starting to make amends for the loss of Harrison Carline off the first ball. 2 boundaries to Zach Tribe. Not great conditions for fielding or bowling, to be fair to Guernsey. As Martel is in, bowls straight delivery, and there's no run there. Guernsey need a shade under 10 and over, and have got 8 runs from the first 5 deliveries of this first over. And that's a really good strike from Zach Tribe, and that's Guernsey's first 6, boundary 6 of this weekend of T20 fixtures. That's the first 6 that Guernsey have hit, and that's a really good strike. He kept his shape there. He picked that fuller ball from Adam Martel, and he smashed that over long off for a really convincing 6. There it is on the replay. Yeah, he's hit that beautifully, and Guernsey will be happier than they were after ball 1, let's put it that way. 14 for 1 off the first over, and the required run rate is a shade under 8 and over from here on in. Now this is young Harry Johnson to open the bowling, as he did yesterday from the pavilion end. Now, Harry was spotted this morning while we were waiting in the rain, allegedly revising for his exams, but was he secretly looking at the dossier of Guernsey batting weaknesses? We shall find out during the course of his spell here. The young lad bowled well yesterday. Guernsey going to try and dominate him. He's in. He's bowled short ball to Greenwood, who has dismissed that with some aplomb and pulled it backward of square leg very comfortably. It was a short ball. It didn't really have the pace that probably Johnson was looking for, and Greenwood had absolute acres of time and space to choose exactly where to hit that. So it's a boundary 4 off the first ball, and a great shot by Greenwood. Harry Johnson comes in. That's a better ball, just short of a length outside off stump. Greenwood doesn't quite get hold of it, and there's no run. Now, good luck to Harry Johnson and all the youngsters in Guernsey and Guernsey revising for examinations. Always tough in the cricket season. Johnson bowls that short outside the off stump. Greenwood gets hold of it this time, but only as far as deep extra cover, and takes a single. Inter Tribe takes strike. So we saw Zach Damrell having a little word with the umpires at the end of the Guernsey innings, and apparently he was a little bit unhappy about the conditions for batting, or more importantly really turning it actually. Instead of, he had a couple of slips, and we saw Bradley slip as well. It's a great bit of fielding by Stokes. Good bit of fielding by Stokes there, who prevents a run as Tribe nudges the ball out to backward point. Oh my goodness! Now that was, well, it's a super shot from from Tribe, but an incredibly athletic attempt at what would have been a marvel catch at mid-wicket from the perhaps slightly unlikely figure of Adam Martell. It really was a spectacular effort, but it went through his hands. I mean, it would have been a quite amazing catch. It went through his hands, and Tribe takes a single. It's a fuller ball from Johnson. Again, it goes straight to Martell, who fields well, and no run. So after the first ball was dealt with so comfortably and a nice boundary was struck, only another 3 runs off that over, so 7 runs off the over. Guernsey 21 for 1 off 2. And the required run rate just goes up a notch, just over 10 and over required. But remember, there are only 13 overs in this game, so 11 overs to go, and it's Bishard who's coming on, replacing Martell from the St Saviour's Bowling Club end. Bishard to Greenwood. Good start from Bishard. Not much you can do about that. Good to see our sponsors here today, the Channel Insurance Brokers, which were present earlier on, having a chat with the CEO of Jersey Cricket and all the great and the good. So thank you very much for Channel Insurance Brokers support. Another good delivery from Bishard and a big swing and a miss from Greenwood. That wasn't far over the top of the middle stump there. Jersey will be wanting to take advantage in this power play. A reminder, there's only 4 overs of power play, so we're already halfway through that. Jersey got off to a reasonable start here after that first ball dismissal. And that's a great shot by Greenwood. He's down the track, he's opened up the offside and smashed that over mid-off, which again, that's what you can do during the power play. Whether that'll be an option in a couple of overs time, I rather doubt it. Bishard's fallen over in his follow through. There is a concern here for the bowlers. It's not easy when, you know, after all that rain we had, it is going to be slippery, and a couple of players have slipped, but we're here to play cricket, so I think we've just got to get on with it, really. But it's not ideal for the... I've got a little sympathy for the bowlers. There's a bit of sawdust goes out. Greenwood moves on to 9 runs from 6 deliveries faced. And Zach Tribe's got off to a bit of a flyer, 16 off 8. Good to know we've got a fair few listeners over and viewers down over on our sister island in Guernsey. Some of my over 50s colleagues I know are enjoying the coverage. Well, I'm enjoying what they're seeing at least. A good full length ball from Bishard, kept out but no run. Yes, nice to know that we're broadcasting into Andy Biggins' bedroom, for instance. Greenwood's gone down the track there and tried to take advantage, but only squeezed it out to mid-wicket for a single. Just 5 off this over so far, 1 ball to go. Bichard will be happy with his start. That's another good ball from Bichard, and a little prod from Ace of Tribe, but he manages to evade backward point and gets another 2 runs. So 3 overs of power play done, 7 runs off that over. Guernsey 28 for 1 off 3. It is a day where the run rate is very important with this quite severely curtailed game. So Guernsey need another 80 runs from 10 overs. 8 and over should really be gettable, one would think. But this is the last over of the power play. I think Guernsey will be looking for a big one here if they can try and dominate young Harry Johnson. But he did all right in his first over. I've got a feeling that mid-wicket area is going to be targeted. Can't reach the boundary there, but 2 more runs. Ooh, that's a great shot. That's a super shot from Nick Greenwood. Beaten a despairing Ant Stokes, and that's 4 runs. A really classy cricket shot. Four runs to Greenwood. That's a great comeback from Harry Johnson. That's held its line and beaten Greenwood outside the off stump. Crucial 3 balls, I think, here coming up. Last at end of the power play. Guernsey on to 34. It's going to be a good deal more tricky when the boundary riders come into play at the end of this over. Johnson's in. That's been beautifully picked up by Greenwood. And 1 bounce fall, literally 2 or 3 yards from the boundary rope. So that's a really nice pick up. The classy shot. He does look a class act, Nick Greenwood. Had a very, very successful spell in New Zealand playing for Wellington Firebirds over our winter, and he's had a bit of a break from the game, I think, just to get his energy and enthusiasm fully back. That's a change in the field now. Field has gone out to that deep mid-wicket position, so there'll be a hole somewhere else. Will Greenwood be classy enough to pierce the offside now, perhaps? Well, that's what he's tried to do, and I hate to tell I told you so, but he's found that gap and he's hit another boundary. So this has been a good over from Guernsey's perspective as we come to the last ball of the power play, and 3 much needed boundaries from this over with some classy batting from Greenwood, who moves on to 24 off just 13 balls. Johnson goes short again, and it's pulled behind square, but it is fielded on the boundary this time. But Guernsey can't prevent another 2 runs. Just going to check that's the end of the power play now, keeping an eye on the umpires. But, double checking that is the end of the power play, which I'm sure it is, but Guernsey have reached 44 for 1 off those 4 overs. So going along at 11 and over at the moment, and required run rate goes down to just over 7 and over. So notwithstanding that early loss, Guernsey in quite a good position at the moment, but this is where the game's going to get interesting now that Guernsey can go more defensive. And we saw how well drilled they were in the field yesterday. They really looked like they knew exactly what their roles were, and they made it very difficult for Guernsey yesterday. Having said that, with the boundaries brought in today and the pitch offering a little bit more zip to it, boundary scoring has been considerably easier today than it was yesterday. So it's Anthony Stokes has come on from the far end, bowling his slow left arm stuff. Sort of traditional defensive field, 3 men out on the leg side. Big hole at mid wicket, you might be able to pick up a 2. Is that going to be a wide? It is. He's just pushed that a little bit too wide. Good shot from Greenwood, doesn't quite reach the boundary this time, back with a square and just gets a single. Tribe punches off the back foot, no run. Ooh, now there was a bit more flight in that one, and sure enough, good bowling from Anthony Stokes, and all Tribe can only push that ball out. He was aiming for that slightly shorter boundary than yesterday, but he can't beat the man at long on, who pouches a comfortable catch. So Tribe departs 19 off 11 balls. Maybe a good bowling change with Anthony Stokes. It's been the slower bowlers yesterday and today that have dominated. Chuggy Pershard 4 wickets today. Martindale Bradley 4 wickets yesterday, and maybe that's the line of attack that Guernsey can take advantage of. Crucial part of the game now. Coming up to the end of the 5th over. Jonty Jenner, the new man in. 2 balls remaining in this over from Ant Stokes. No run. Good over from Stokes this. That was he dragged that one down, and he's rather ruined a really good over there. He's dragged that down, and Jonty Jenner seized the chance and hit that nicely off the back foot in front of extra cover and reached the boundary. So 4 runs off the last ball of the over, 7 conceded. That's bang on the asking rate for Guernsey. Now, what can yesterday's hero do? Martindale Bradley, 4 wickets yesterday. Remember, boundary options may be a little bit more straightforward today. I mean, you can just see by the number of 6s and 4s that have been hit today compared to yesterday's game that the conditions have definitely changed, or the dimensions of the pitch have certainly changed. Conditions, I would argue, slightly easier as well. So really 7 and over from here for Guernsey should not present too much of a challenge. But Inter Insular cricket, a bit of nervousness, Runs on the board, scoreboard pressure. Guernsey can't afford to lose this game, of course. We're two down in a 3-match series. Bradley coming into Greenwood. Good start from Bradley. He's just looking a little bit uncomfortable from that twisting incident while batting. But the ball's coming out all right. That's 2-dot balls. Remember, 13 overs only in this innings. Bradley pulls out there. Again, he's just sort of holding his side a little bit. He may have jarred himself when he slipped. This time the thick edge dribbles out to short third, and there's a single for Greenwood, but just 1 run conceded from the first 3 balls of this over. Jenner takes a single. Full toss and aggressive running from these two means they get a comfortable second run. But not been a bad over at all here. Just 4 runs conceded with 1 ball left. Guernsey be very keen to hit another boundary here to get the slightest chance. Where's he going to aim for? Just a single. Good over. Well bowled, Martin Dale. Honours to Guernsey that over. Just 5 runs from the over. 56 for 2 off 6, Guernsey. Required run rate up to 7.5. 7 overs remaining, remember, in this 13 overs a side game. 52 runs required. Now Guernsey are halfway there in more or less half of the overs. But remember, the power play does make a difference, and the field is out now, makes it a little bit more tricky. The breeze has got up a little bit, and I think hitting the ball in towards the bank is going to be easier than towards the tennis court side. It's Martel, and with that breeze, Greenwood's punched that very nicely out to deep extra cover, but just a 1 run. Martel to Jenner. Good, clever batting really there. It was a really good ball, but batsmen were both aware that there was a single to be taken, so 6 and over pretty much gets you there, doesn't it? No need for any big risks. But having said that, that's a vast hit from Greenwood. He's managed to deposit the ball right into the middle of the roof of the bowling club, and not only that, it's actually, the ball's gone over the apex of the roof. That's going to take some fetching, and quite a nasty noise if you're in there playing bowls and you suddenly hear that, I would imagine. Enough to wobble your jack. Great strike from Greenwood, moves on to 38 off 22 balls. I remember playing at this ground myself many years ago, when for a very short period of time I was given the most incredible cricket bat ever. It was a cheap and nasty bat, but it had a fantastic middle on it, but sadly it only lasted about a month. But during that month I managed to do something similar to that. It's the only time I've ever deposited the ball on that roof. It's quite tempting, and I did it once, but it wasn't as impressive as Nick Greenwood's, I can tell you, because that's gone right over the back of the bowling club. That wind is definitely getting up, as my monitor will testify, blowing in the wind. It does mean that the leg side for a right-hander, for the bowler bowling at the pavilion end, in other words hitting towards the car park and the bank at Granville, that's going to be an easier option definitely than hitting towards the tennis courts, which will be into the wind. Martell to Greenwood, who doesn't hit that quite as well, but a nice strike out towards extra cover. Just a single. Well, Jonty Jenner did the same there as he did earlier on in the over, just dribbled the ball out to backward point, where Bradley again is holding that side of his. He came in very quickly there. It was a tight single, but it was safely taken. Greenwood has done it again. What a strike that is. He's taken on the long off fielder. Now he's right back on the line, so there's a high risk factor, but he's hit a really good strike for another 6. Great batting from Nick Greenwood, and that was a very good over for Guernsey. 2 6s, 4 singles, 16 off that over. That does make a difference. That's taken the run rate required just down to 6. So a run a ball and really some sensible Guernsey batting from here should win the game comfortably. Greenwood moves on to 45 off just 24 balls, and it's been quite an inning so far. Bradley with his slightly dodgy side into Jenner. Jenner tries to sweep. That was an opportunity for 4 runs behind square, but it's a wide ball and gets given a wide. Once again, Bradley got his fields placed perfectly. No run there. That's just short of a length ball. The batsman can get on the back foot, but you can't really get huge amounts of power. And only really going to likely get a single for that, as Jenner does. Puts the dangerous Greenwood back on strike on 45 not out. Oh my goodness, that is an absolutely tremendous catch by Josh Buttler. Greenwood had a bit of time there, the shorter ball, and I could see that he was going to try and punish into the leg side using that stiff breeze, and he got hold of it okay, but Buttler moved smartly to his left and took an outstanding catch with both hands. It really was a great piece of work, and Nick Greenwood has to depart reluctantly for a very classy 45, but what a great catch to get out to. Take a bow, Josh Buttler. And another wicket for Bradley. It just makes things a little bit more interesting. Remember, Guernsey only really need a run a ball from here. You'd think that should be fairly straightforward. Sumra is the new batsman. He doesn't tend to deal in run a ball stuff though. He likes to give it a whack when he gets the chance, and I can't see him changing his game. You want to avoid Josh Butler if he can do that again. That was a great catch. Sumra, first ball, comfortable, confident hit straight down the ground for a single. Are Guernsey going to play sensibly and just get a run a ball and knock these runs off, or they're going to be an effort to score maybe too quickly? Bradley beats the bat. Semi-appeal for, I think before wicket, wasn't really interested. Another good bit of fielding by this Guernsey unit. They really do look well drilled, and that's not a bad over at all again from Bradley. He's really been the pick of the Guernsey bowlers this weekend so far. He bowled a wide but only went for 4 runs off that over, so the Guernsey required run rate clicks up slightly to 6.5 or thereabouts. An over required, but it's only 32 runs now, which is probably a better way of describing it. 32 from 30 deliveries. There's a graphic which doesn't help you at all. So it's going to be Ant Stokes continuing to Jonty Jenner, and it's Jenner's turn to use his feet and find a nice gap over extra cover. It was a full toss. He used his feet well, but it was a very full delivery, and he's used his feet nicely and smashed that over extra cover for 4 runs. So Bradley's good work from the last over, perhaps slightly undone. Good comeback from Ant Stokes. Oh, and that's been skied by Jenner. He's going to get away with it. He's got away with it and managed to scamper too. Ant Stokes possibly held that back a little bit. Ball didn't quite come onto the bat as Jenner was hoping, and he was looking for that big straight boundary, but didn't get hold of it. And once again beats the bat. That's good running from Julius Sumra there. He's under a bit of pressure, but both batsmen knew they were going to go for that second run, and Sumra is quick. We know Jenner's quick, and in spite of a good bit of fielding, couldn't prevent the 2 Guernsey. So that's 8 taken off this over with 1 ball left. What are you going to do here? Oh, he's bowled a full ball. It was perhaps an opportunity, but ends up yorking himself, the batsman, and that's another dot ball. So 8 off that over. Guernsey are up with the required rate, just 3 wickets down, but only 4 overs to go, remember, in this curtailed game. So we're back to exactly a run a ball required. 24 to win from 4 overs. No surprises, it's Bradley continuing, bowling to Sumera, who's just faced the 1 ball so far. Oh, okay, that's a good appeal there from Bradley. Umpire's had a good look at that, and he's given that not out. Not a bad shout at all. Close to off stump, I'm going to guess. As I said, Sumera's not really the type of batsman to just push singles, even though actually that's all that's required from a Guernsey perspective. He's gone for 2 huge efforts to hit boundaries and has got the princely sum of 1 run. What's Jenna going to try to do? Once again, beats the bat on the back foot, no run. Now he's starting to think maybe we do need a boundary off this over. And that was in the slot for Jenna there. He's waited for the right ball to hit, to be fair. A despairing effort at extra cover, which would have been an exceptional catch. Never really likely to happen, to be totally honest with you, from Ollie Nightingale, I think that is. But Jenna manages to evade him and reaches the extra cover boundary for a much needed 4 from this over. Nightingale looks a little bit disconsolate. Bradley with just 2 balls left of his spell. I'm assuming he can only bowl 3 overs with the reduction to just 13 in this innings. But he's bowled well again. He's bowled well, the big man. He's dragged that down a bit short, but it's sort of skidded through a little bit, and Jenna didn't have quite time to take full advantage, but manages to get it out for a single. So that's the 6 runs required from the over with a ball to spare. Now, will Sumera try to go large again? I think he will, because that's just the way he plays. He'll be thinking with the wind, that boundary on the leg side is definitely hittable for him. And he's had a big windmill swing, but no contact. But Guernsey do manage to get a bye as the ball evades Zach Damrell's gloves. So, yeah, Guernsey do what was required there. Not necessarily in the most straightforward of ways, but they've done it. Down to 17 required from 18 balls. A reminder that the intention is to get a full T20 in starting at 5 o'clock, so the players not getting much rest here today, but then they've had a whole morning watching the rainfall, so I'm sure they're looking forward, they're enjoying playing the cricket, and that's what we're here for. We do with a bit of sunshine though. It's Bishard returning now. He bowled a good first over, which I think he got punished off the last ball by recollection. So he only went for 7 off his first over. He's potentially going to bowl 2 of these last 3 overs. Not a bad start. straight down the ground, just a single. A reminder, when a ball gets Guernsey over the line. Now, I'm just having a little look at the rain radar, and I think we've missed the latest wodge of rain, and we're hopeful that that's it, gone for the day. Bichard to Jenner. Oh, he's hit that. Oh, he's hit that well down the ground, but it's possibly should have been just one. But again, great running from, well, both batsmen, but particularly Sumara is going to the danger end. Obviously, as soon as he's hit that ball, both batsmen know they're running two, whatever, and Sumara's touched and gone straight back. So it's really good teamwork, and good batting from Sumara supporting his partner there. A single out to deep mid-wicket. Jenner moves on to 25 from 20 deliveries. Once again, Sumara, a big swing of the bat, but no connection, and leg byes taken. Batsman scurry through. Good bit of fielding in his follow through by Bichard. Half a chance of a run out. Guernsey will be desperate for a couple of wickets here. Jenner's got some right hand into that and whipped it round. Good hit, but straight to the deep square leg, just a single. But Guernsey have managed to score off every ball this over, and that's all they really need to do. Last ball of Bichard's over to Sumara. And he gets hold of this one, but just for a single. Crowd seem to be enjoying themselves down there. It's the end of the 11th over. Guernsey move on to 98 for 3. Just 10 runs required to win this match and level the series up at 1 game all, which will leave us with a intriguing prospect. I might be getting slightly confused here, because the graphics and the scoreboard are suggesting different totals. Guernsey might need a bit more than the 10 off 2 that we've got written down here, actually. So they're chasing 113, which I think they are. It's actually 15 required. So, my fault. Not quite so straightforward after all. Anyway, it's an enforced change of bowling from the pavilion end. Anthony Stokes coming back in. He's gone for 15 off his 2 overs. And I'm going to stop reading the screen now, and I'm going to concentrate on the actual scoreboard at the ground, which obviously indicates that Guernsey's target is in fact 113. So it's actually 15 required off these last 2 overs, which makes it a little bit more interesting, perhaps. Stokes to Jenner, and he's managed to clear long on, not by a huge distance, but all that was required, and that's 6 runs. It's not Jenner at all, sorry. That was Sumara actually getting hold of one. Well done him. So he's managed to clear long on. 6 runs, that does make things a little bit more straightforward. 9 required to win for Guernsey. Stokes to Sumera. Swing and a miss, but it's just pushed outside off stump, and that's a wide. So no, good bowling from Stokes. He's given that one a little bit more flight, and the whirlwind bat of Julius Sumera fails to connect. Once again, beats the bat. So after that 6, still a little bit of work to do. Eight for Guernsey to win from 8 balls. Stranger things have happened. A hat-trick here. It's a funny old game. Stokes in. Sumera manages to get hold of it this time. It's only going to be a single out to deep mid-wicket. Seven required. And Jenner's got hold of that one nicely. 1 bounce, 4 over extra cover. That was a full toss from Stokes. He's bowled well, but he's just over pitched the odd one, and Jenner's taken full advantage there, and that really should wrap it up for Guernsey, I think. Just 3 runs required to win, and still 7 balls left. That, as the sun comes out, is this a good portender for Guernsey? Stokes into Jenner. Yeah, he's going to get at least 2 there. He's cut that off the back foot. Well fielded by Martell. He's round sharply, getting a good throw. But that's 2 runs, and that sort of ties up the scores, I think. Jimmy Pershard sounds a little bit happier than he has done. Zach Damrell's wandering off. Oh, just needs to take his helmet off, I think. So a much better performance by Guernsey this time with the bat. Guernsey fielding's been good again. Very organised and disciplined. The bowling's been fine. But Guernsey batting just a little bit more powerful. And Guernsey really struggled when we came out after that rain delay. They may argue we came out too soon. Because they didn't really take much advantage of that final 4 overs, which has left the Guernsey team with a manageable target, which it looks like they've done fairly easily with an over or so to spare. But it sets it up nicely for game 3. Anyway, it's Bishard in to Sumera, and there it is. He's clipped that nicely behind square, and Martell's going to let that go over the rope because he knows it's all over. And Guernsey win by 7 wickets with 5 balls remaining to take this T20 series into the final remaining game, scheduled to start in half an hour or so's time. Good game of cricket.